Okay. Hi, queens and kings. I'm frustrated. And I didn't want to do this video at all with the attitude. But I just did an hour and 20-minute recording. And it's gone. It's gone. I uploaded it directly to YouTube. I thought I could edit it and chop it down and make it palatable for everybody. Maybe make it into 2 videos. 10, 20-minute videos. And they just deleted it and was like, we're sorry. And I went in. Hour and 20 minutes of me sitting here talking to myself. That's crazy. And now I'm hungry. But I want to get this accomplished because I have other things on my list of things to do today. I have a big party this weekend. So high. My lipstick is still on. I was drinking coffee through it. I went in. The thing is, it'd be one thing if the video was still there and I could download it somewhere and edit it myself. It's gone. It's completely gone. I went over notes. I mean, I went in with information. It's gone. So now I see how YouTube works, and I got something for that ass, and I'm not going to ever again in life upload directly to YouTube because I need to, that's my first video. I need to ramble a bit. So now I'm uploading it to iMovie on the computer. I'm sorry, I gotta pause. Can I pause this? There's no pause? I'm gonna pause it because my microwave's gonna keep me. I'm back. So as you can hear, they're still destroying the forest outside, and it's terrible. The cracking of some of these trees, I mean, it sounds like murder to me. I don't know how people listen to that and just go about their merry day. It literally sounds like murder. And I'm weird because I definitely feel trees' vibrations, and they're part of life. Life is a fabric. We're all one big organism. You kill one, you kill us all a little bit. Every time. And that shouldn't be cool to anybody. If it's cool to you, you're the weirdo. Okay? So I made this great video that you all will never see, and I will never see the likes of. And now I'm doing it again. And I'm going to do it quickly. Now I see what YouTube is all about. You got to get straight to the business. So you're probably wondering, and the reason why I made this video was because somebody asked me, why would a woman like you, empowered and strong and militant, they didn't say all that, but I know what they were saying, who doesn't want to work for the man with itWorks. And I have to break it down real quick like for you before we get misconstrued at all. First of all, don't ever misconstrue me. Don't ever. I will never again, after 21 years of working in the corporate world, and if you know me and if you worked with me, you know I fight. I am a fighter. I'm a fighter. I fight the good fight, though. And I will never again subjugate myself to working for a business entity wherein I have to remove myself from myself. And that is what a lot of corporate business structures are set up to push you to do. You have to literally remove yourself. If your mission and vision and purpose is all about the uplift of the body of people, the complete organism around you, if that is really part of your mission and vision, and you are working for a corporation, you know good as well as I do that they do not and are not interested in that. They are interested in their own personal interests. And so you have to, if you're going to be with them, remove your personal interests and make their mission your mission. So reason number one why I was able to join itWorks, and these are not in order of the true reasons why I joined. That would take a lot more organization, and I didn't do all of that. But one of the reasons why I decided to join is because I do not have to personally remove my mission, vision, and purpose in order to do work with itWorks. They are a part of my personal mission, vision, and purpose. Their mission and vision and purpose is in alignment with mine. I do not believe in the pyramid corporate pyramid structure scam. That is not my belief. However, for 21 years, I have been able to work in that corporate structure scam because I haven't really known anything better. I grew up in an environment where I was around business owners. I grew up in the Hamptons, Long Island, New York, represent, right? And I did grow up around old money, old slave money. Okay, I can say slave money because that's what it is. Slavery was big; it was popping, where I'm from, and it's a slave port. So literally, slave ships would just stroll on through and drop slaves off. I mean, that is the history of where I grew up, and so I grew up in a class of people that were used to having wealth in their family for hundreds of years, and so I learned a lot about building wealth. And I was pushed to go to college and get my education and then come back and help build for our community. And those were the tenets of my growing up life. And so finding a multi-level marketing company, when I was in business school working on my master's, I studied that model, right? And Donald Trump loves that model. And the reason why that model is in alignment with any sort of revolutionary spirit or free thinker is because you are not answering to a corporate body. I do have a list of policies and procedures that I must adhere to and cannot break, but they're very easy. When I signed on with my last job, which was in finance, and my work there for the years that I worked with them was I had to sign over my ideas. I had to give them any ideas that I had on or off of my work time with them. And I was also a representative of their company when I was off of work. And I had to sign off on that. So things that I did in my personal life, I had to understand if they weren't in alignment with their goals, which were actually white supremacist goals. So I couldn't be me working with that corporate scam of a triangular structure where only the top head of the company was the only one making the money and the bottom feeders were the ones doing the work. I could not work with that structure and still be okay. So some of the people think MLMs are pyramid schemes. You hear that terminology quite a bit. And I had to look into that a lot because I wasn't comfortable joining anything that sounds like a scheme because I was already in a scheme, So what I can say to that is that's not what it is. Please research marketing. And if you have to go to school like I did, I had to go to school because I didn't have a lot of good role models within my community who were able to show me how to manage the economics in my life and help others manage theirs. So I had to learn from the model that we already have. And MLMs are not necessarily pyramid schemes. There are pyramid schemes, and you should understand the corporate scheme and other pyramid schemes and how things are structured. But a multi-level marketing company is not the same as a pyramid scheme. So first, you're going to have to dissolve and do enough research to realize that. And so multi-level marketing, what that means is it's really a circle. The way money flows best is in a circle. When it flows in a pyramid structure, it only flows to the top, the kings and queens at the top, the CEOs at the top, right? So if you're not at the top, you're not going to get the money. So like one of my reasons for joining was because I can't become a millionaire in a corporate entity. There's no way for me to be a millionaire. Can you become a millionaire at your job? Does your job give you a sheet of paper that tells you exactly how to become a millionaire, and you can do it this week, or you can do it next week, or you can do it within 6 months or a year or whenever? But do they tell you you can become a millionaire? And I'll wait. And if you have a job where you have every authority and potential to become a millionaire within any time structure, I'm not talking about we all are eventually going to make $1 million at our jobs. You can work 20 years and you might make your first $1 million at your job, but you live paycheck to paycheck, right? So That's the way the corporate structure is set up. Economically, it is not ever set up to benefit the working class, which are the bottom and the middle of that pyramid structure. It's not set up to manifest any sort of millions, because you won't come to work. Sorry, I get excited about this stuff because I want it to click for people. It clicked for me a long time ago, and I've been working my way out. I've been buying my freedom, is what I call it. And that's what this company is about. Friendships, fun, and freedom. That's our motto. Freedom. Hello? How long have we been fighting for freedom? A long time. And as a Black woman, I'm always part of this freedom fight, because Black women are at the bottom of the totem pole, pyramid, whatever, even though we're the mother of civilization. Even though we are the beginning of humanity, we still fight to get where everybody else is getting. Why? Because we're servers. We're of service. And so it was important for me as a Black woman to still be of service to my community and to my people and to my children. And so that brings me to the product. The product makes me healthy. I don't have makeup on. I just woke up. I woke up and I did an hour and a 20-minute long video. And all I did was throw some red lipstick on. But this is me. I glow. If you looked at me 2 years ago, you'd see a woman who was ashy. My skin was like, it was like when I took a picture, it was like a gray film over me, because that's the film of unhealthy. You see it on people of all shapes and sizes now. It's when you're full of toxins. You're full of toxins. Toxins are in everything, from the food and drink that you put into your body, to the lotions and creams and perfumes that you put on your skin, to the products that you use to think you're cleaning that go right into, you know how soluble your skin is? Do you know how your skin is made of mostly water? And so everything that you touch literally becomes a part of the fabric of who you are. Just think about that for a second, because it can get icky when you think of all the things you're touching. Literally goes straight into your bloodstream from your skin, which is completely porous. It's a very thin barrier, but it's completely porous. So when you touch unnatural shit, it goes in your body. This company's product helps remove that unnatural boo-boo from your body, and that stuff sticks to your cells and it puffs you up and it makes you sick, so you become a body of toxicity. And then you go to the doctor and they give you more toxicity. And I'm not against doctors at all. There's some very good ones out there who understand how this works. But then there's a lot of doctors who need you to be sick, because if you don't get sick, you won't come to the doctor. Just like if you get rich, you won't come to work. Okay? So you have to understand strategically how things work. And we live in an environment that was built on white supremacist ideals. And so even though I'm not mad at any white people, I don't have an agenda against you, I'm not that. I'm not anti anybody. I'm pro all of us being able to get it together. Literally. That's what I'm pro. I'm pro let's get it together. And so is itWorks, the company. We are pro let's get it together. Another reason why I joined. I can be myself. See me? Nobody's going to write me a letter and say, hey, Cheverly, take that video of you being yourself down. Or change your hair. Or we don't like the color lipstick you're wearing. It's not a good representation of us. No. Everything about every one of us within this company, the reason why we're jumping for this company is because we're jumping for ourselves. I determine my check. I wear what I want. I grow my nails to the length I decide I want to grow them to. I wear my hair in the funky style that I want to wear it in. Whatever. Wake up the time I want to wake up. Go to bed the time I want to go to bed. There's nobody dictating. When I was at this last company I worked with, which is, I'm going to say it's the biggest financial institution in the free world. And you know what that means. They own us. They own us all. Okay? Whoever has the most money, most pot of money, owns us. When I worked for them, I had to look a certain way. I had to speak a certain way. and I was in HR, and I was a leader in the company, so to speak. I've been in a leadership position since I started working 21 years ago. And so when you're in a leadership position, you're usually told by a body higher than you, that nobody really sees, what you can do and say. You're a representative of the company, right? So you're not allowed to be yourself unless you're like corporate robot. But you can bring a little bit of yourself to the table, a little of your pizzazz and your spice. But for the most part, you have to be them. And what I love about being a 1099 type of business owner is that I don't have to be them. I can be me. I can be myself. Okay? And I can build a team of people who like me. And I can help them be themselves, and I can help make sure that they have self-sufficiency and they pay their bills and they provide for their families, and they are their success is not determined by somebody who's going to see their Facebook post or their video on YouTube and is going to say, you're fired. I'm not going to get fired. As long as I stick to the guidelines and the policies and procedures, which are very basic and understandable, of which this company has, they're not going to fire me. I can't be fired. And if I were to be fired, guess what I would do? Even when I'm not fired, I'm going to do this anyway. But this leads me to another reason why this structure works for me. I want to build my own MLM. Okay? I think this structure is important to the uplifting of our community. I think we need to really understand network marketing. All cultures have a network marketing sort of model because all cultures besides the Black culture actually circulate money within each other and with themselves. So if you go to a Filipino community, they circulate their money within the Filipino community. As much as humanly possible, they are going to support a Filipino business owner before they support, anybody else. And that's okay. That's not racist. That's the way money works if you want to keep money in your community. We do not seem to be catching on to this very well. First of all, we're tight-fisted with money. We don't let it go, and we don't let it go in the right places. Now, most other cultures, what they'll do is they will get money and they will find a way to spend it within that circular motion of themselves, because when you spend money in a circle, it comes back to you. And that is what I learned growing up with very wealthy people. They spend it on each other. So guess what? They're at the golf course, right? Right. And they're with their bros and their friends and their families. And they're chit-chatting. How's business with you, Bob? Oh, Bob, business is great with me. How's business with you, Bob? Bob, it's great with me, too. Well, guess what? I wanted to get some cool shirts. How can I get some cool shirts? There's no shirts out there that represent me. I want a shirt that I can wear to the polo club and look good, look fly. And Bob goes, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. There's a manufacturing company in some indigenous country somewhere who makes really good quality, cheap shirts. Why don't we start a line and we will get these shirts pumping? Bob, that's a great idea. Handshake happens. They go together, they invest their money, and they get some shirts. And then guess what happens? Their people in their circle start buying their shirts. Right? And their circle's already wealthy because they're all circularly sharing their money, right? So everybody in their circle's already wealthy. And then guess what happens? The little indigenous people of the society see these shirts on these very successful people and they think, oh my gosh, that shirt's going to make me successful. Look at its little cute logo. Oh my gosh, if I wear this shirt, I'm going to be successful too. And this is a sign of success. And so I'm going to buy this shirt and be successful. No. I missed the whole concept of how that success just happened. It happened in a circular motion. Bob shook hands with Bob. And they built the company together. And then they wore their shirts. And then you decided that's where the success was. So no. So yes. Better yet, so yes. That's how it works, y'all. So I would like to, I spent a long time learning the structure, and I have a ways to go, which is why I'm in the company. I'm in the company of success. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with my team, and we are going to build our own MLM. And if you want to be a part of that, holler. I also became a distributor because it was only 99 bucks. I am a product junkie. I have spent $99 in Target on a run to go get lipstick or something, a pair of shorts. I went in for a pair of shorts. I came out and I spent $120. Hello, who's ever done that before? So whatever, $99 and I can own my own business. Yeah, okay. It was not a big investment at all. And I made the $99 back within 2 days, like immediately, because everybody wanted the product. I had to keep one wrap for myself, to wrap myself to try it. Everybody bought the wraps. So it wasn't like a big to do. Let me see if I covered all my reasons, you know? And then every bit of money I've made since then has been profit. And then everybody I work with around me who maybe started 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or 6 months ago, they're buying their own cars outright. They're buying their own homes. They're doing all this great stuff because they sat down with their team. They figured out the recipe for success. It's not that deep. It's not confusing at all. And they have a product that works. And that was super important for me, was a product that works. Okay? So let me go through the reasons. Does your job have $1 million opportunity for you? That you can make $1 million right now? Did they tell you the recipe of how to do that? Or did they give you a 1-cent raise like my job used to give me? I worked for a whole year and I'd be thinking a raise was coming and raise time would come and my boss would come through with a sticky note just like this and that shit would say 1 penny. And honey, if that don't make you want to blow some shit up, I'm telling you, you gave me a 1 penny raise. I just worked around the clock. I didn't see my kids. What? Okay. Another reason, seeing my kids. I just spent 2 months staring at my kids. And the last time I did this video, I cried because I got to this part and it hit me. I get to spend time with my kids were like, don't you have to go? Because they're so used to seeing me have to go. When you work a job, they control your PTO. They are not trying to have you spending time with your kids. My job, I kept telling them, my kids live here. I live here. I need to be with my kids. And they would talk, we don't have any sites in that area. Move all the way up here in this remote location and get paid this amount of money, but we don't have any sites in that area. And I'm not joking. That's literally how most of my managers talk. So we don't have any sites in that area close to your kids. And if that's not a white supremacist ideal, I don't know what is, honey. That reminds me, I missed another reason why. So I went all into white supremacy in the last video because I do want you guys to understand. I get it. I understand it. It's a fabric of the American and the civilized world. It's a big part. And I gotta keep saying, because I know I have white friends and white people in my family, and when you hear the word white supremacist, you're like, don't confuse me. So I really want to make it clear. I know a lot of whites are not white supremacists, so to speak. Okay? But what we have to understand is that was the fabric that our nation was built on. It was built on ideals of white supremacy. It was built on black subjugation. It was built on keeping the black and the people of color and indigenous people down while making sure that whites got where they needed to get to first. And so we live in that model. So if my mention of white supremacy makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, okay. So what? I'm sorry. I've worked around that model my whole life. I've grown up around it. I understand it. And I'm actually not offended. I'm not offended. Because it's a smart model for if you're white. Like if I was to be white, I would probably be okay because I'd have this whole community of folk that wanted to see me get ahead. I could still be myself and go to work because really they have most of the jobs and most of the positions in power. So I would just be a cool ass white person, straight up. And so, but I'm not. I'm black and I'm pro black woman and I'm pro family and black child. And so since I have those ideals, they battle with the white supremacist structure most of the time. There's not a white supremacist structure or a white privilege structure that wants to see me be successful. And so with itWorks, I had to carefully look at the model because, like somebody pointed out, doesn't a white man own itWorks? Yeah, white people are the CEOs, but an indigenous Latino man actually got the recipe for he's an herbologist, and he got the recipe for our products, and our products come from indigenous places, and they're non-GMO, and the recipe is owned still by this indigenous herbologist, and that I dig. And we don't patent our products because we don't even want to put the recipe out there. You can know the ingredients, but you can't know how it all comes together. He still has that within himself, and he keeps that because that's within his family that hasn't let that go. Okay? And that is a very smart and honorable thing for this company's ownership to do. So the link is here that I want us to understand is that this company is seeing beyond color. They're not limiting it there, and they're not saying anybody of color. There are and research them. Go look up YouTube. There are very successful people of color, millionaires of color in this company doing whole teams of people of color are getting this accomplished and working together to make this dream happen for themselves and their family. That's huge to me. That's huge to me. They're not putting a cap or a ceiling or giving me a 1-cent raise or trying to keep me down or oppressed so that they can build themselves up. It's nothing like that. We share in all of the profits. And my team succeeds as I succeed. I succeed as my team succeeds. It's a network. Okay? So very important there too. And you can research all of this and fact finds and do whatever you need to do. And I'm actually not trying to persuade you to join me or join any MLM. It's just this question came up and I want to get it out and squashed now because there's nothing about me that's compromising myself to be with itWorks. As a matter of fact, they're supporting my mission, vision, and purpose because when I start making $10,000 a month checks, 90% of that money after I pay my bills is going right back into my mission and vision and purpose. It's going to go right back into the circulation of pro-black woman-owned businesses first, and I'm going to circulate my money to make sure I'm buying artwork from my people, to make sure I'm buying my materials from my people. When I find, I already found her actually. There's a woman who dyes her own yarn. When I find her, because you know I crochet and I make things, my money is going right to her. I'm going to keep building up our economy with the money I am making. I'm not here to make money for my own interest. As long as I'm good and my kids are good, and I mean, I want one of those tiny houses. I'm not, this is disgusting to me that they're knocking down all these trees for another big house. Do you know, because I worked in finance and real estate, do you know that there are enough empty houses in this country to house everybody, including the homeless? Empty! And they're knocking down trees to build another one. Who does that? So yeah. And this company doesn't think like that. They don't think it's good to just knock down all of the forests and trees everywhere that give us life and fruits of life. They're not doing that. itWorks is sticking to its model, and it's building upon the economy of the universe, and it's making sure that we have more distribution of wealth amongst us. And it's also making sure that we're healthy. And so you cannot fight the good fight if you are not healthy. If you got that gray film in front of you, or if you got all this excess weight that sticks on you. I mean, I've been not exercising for probably the last 15 days because I'm exhausted. And so I've been sleeping since I got back home. from being on the road and being with my kids for 2 months. So I have a little extra chub on me, but I know when I start working out, because I'm taking my supplements, it's going to slide right back off. Like, I'm good now. I'm actually okay with weight gain because I understand what it is. It's not toxicity. It's just me sitting on my butt, and dehydrated, not drinking as much water as I need to drink. So understanding that we need our health in order to build our economic situation. If you're sick and tired and dehydrated, you are not going to build your community or your health or your wealth. You're not going to be taking care of your kids well. And that's one thing that a white supremacist movement knows, which is why we have food deserts in our communities. In a black community, when you go into an impoverished black community, which most black communities in the United States of America are impoverished, we have some wealthy ones, most of them are impoverished and poor. When you go to the grocery store there, what do you see? I went to one in North Carolina and Virginia last year and went to the grocery store. There was nothing natural in there. The produce section was like dry and crumbly with flies flying around it. I wouldn't even want to eat that fruit or that vegetable. It looked like it's making me itch right now just thinking about it. It was so gross. Okay, I was so disturbed. I'm like, how in the world are we feeding people like that? That's so gross. If you go to your grocery store and you don't have fresh produce, now I grew up around a lot of white people, okay, and I went to school around a lot of. I've only been a part of 1 to 3% in all the institutions I've lived and worked in. I've only been of 1 to 3% of the people of color, and I'm a woman. So think about that. So I've definitely been immersed in the white culture for long enough to know that they are eating good. They got those good farmers markets placed, right where they live, and everything is placed for them to eat a little bit better and to live a little bit better and afford it. And so even if you're not racist, if you get to be white in this country, you're usually doing pretty good. If you're poor white, don't be racist. If you're poor white, you can't even afford to be racist. Don't be mad at people of color if you're poor white. Most of us poor, and so what you got to do is you got to get you some knowledge. If you're poor white, especially, I understand why you might be frustrated because you might be like, this white supremacy shit isn't helping me. But that's part of white supremacy. It's to separate you and make you believe that you should be mad or hate a race of people. And you should definitely be getting madder and madder as you see them getting healthier and smarter. Don't feel like you have to be in competition with another race of people at all. Figure out how you can network with each other and work together. If you're poor, you're poor. You're both poor together. Get with other poor people and figure out how you can change your economy and how you can. If you're poor and you live in a poor area, you probably got some cheap real estate around you. Get together in a network sort of a situation like the Asians do. They all will take, say, $100. So they'll build a family together, a network together of, say, 20 families. And they'll all say, we're going to take $100 of our money every week. It's like their tithes, right? And we're going to put it in the pot, and it's going to go to a family. So each family of those 20 families puts in $100. What's that? $2,000, right? In the pot every week. And that pot goes to one of the families. And you keep doing that. And you keep doing that over and over. That's kind of like an MLM. It's a really smart way to make sure everybody around you is taken care of. And then you can decide together what you want to do with it. You might have common goals and say, hey, let's go build that. Let's go buy that lot of land and own land together. Okay, there's really smart ways to take a network marketing model and make it a revolution. And that's what it is. The wraps came on the scene 15 years ago, and they went from a European economy where they were paying $300 for these wraps and these herbal supplements, and now we've made it available to all, and we made it an opportunity for all. Because why just a European community gets to benefit and feel healthy? Why not everybody gets to benefit and feel healthy? And then why just one family gets to make money off of an indigenous recipe? Why not all of us make some money off this indigenous recipe? So I just want you to understand that the model is conducive to a revolution. If you're working it the right way and you find a team and you guys work together to make sure each and every one of you are successful, then you will be. And it's very simple, and it's strategic, and it takes a little bit of organization and work, but not really. It actually takes you just to free your mind from the thought of a white supremacist society and understand what it is to really be, and take some of those mechanisms of white supremacy and apply them to ways that you can actually build your wealth with your people. And your people can be whoever. My people are probably going to be a community of fringes. So people like me, who necessarily don't fit in, but very good leadership qualities and are smart and articulate, but are not willing to compromise themselves just to make a dollar. So that's what my team is probably going to be like, those kinds of people. People where you just looking for acceptance and you want to feed your family, and a $10,000 a month or $30,000 a month check, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. And you don't have to compromise yourself or sell some crap that doesn't work or is bogus. If any of that sounds like you, that would be my team, you know. But there's all kinds of teams, and you can build your own team. You do build your own team, where you network together and then you share common goals. That's it. Friendships, fun, and freedom is very, very simple. And so it works very, very well with my pro-Black woman self. All right, this was a much shorter video. I think I covered all my bases. Let me check one more time. Yep. And if I have anything else to add, I might do a second one. But at least you know the beginnings of why this works for me and why I do not feel compromised and I do not feel bad representing at all for this company. Oh, I want to tell you a quick story. So this shirt is my first shirt. I'm sorry for cupping my boobs. I love my boobs. I love being a woman and that I have my own boobs and I get to cup them. But anyway, this shirt is my first itWorks shirt, right? And it was given to me by... It wasn't given to me. I actually purchased it for $20. But it's a sideline team member. And I have not met... I haven't met anybody in my team. Oh, no, that's not true. I went to a green carpet last year in South Carolina, and I met a lot of people sidelines in South Carolina. But I haven't met a lot of people on my team. I talk to them every day, and, you know, we meet online, and we have a remote team of people all over the world who work together. Anyway, I just want to let you know we do not compete with each other. And in corporate America, that's a big deal. We are encouraged to constantly compete with each other, which is the dumbest thing ever, because through competition, what people think is you're going to have the best ideas. It's not true. You don't get the best ideas through competition. You get a bunch of little cliques and mini networks who just want to help each other get to the top. They're like scrambling, but nobody gets to the top. It's like that crabs in a barrel. And what happens with crabs in a barrel? When you work together like crabs in a barrel, everybody's trying to pull the next crab down, right? So the crab is stepping on one crab and trying to get up, and then the next crab snatches it down, claws it, and is like, no, I'm going to get up. And then finally one crab makes it to the top. What happens to that crab at the top? Have you guys ever fully thought this model through of the crabs in the barrel technique? Look at it. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're a younger person and you're like, what is she talking about, crabs in a barrel? Look it up. Famous Black quote. It's what a lot of people think about us and how we work together. It's also how corporate America, how they keep the lower class workers scrambling all the time. But what happens to that top crab that makes it to the top? So it's a barrel, right? So there's already someone who put the barrel there and has the crabs in there, right? So already someone has ownership of the barrel of crabs. If you just so happen to make it to the top, what happens to you, honey? Well, you get plucked out and placed in a hot boiling pot of water and eaten up. Yup, that's what you're scrambling toward. You are scrambling toward your demise. And that is actually a perfect analogy for corporate America. This is why they're never going to want me back, and I don't want any parts of them either. Is because you are scrambling literally to just get placed in a scalding hot, boiling pot of water and cooked up. Look at how many people have made it to what we consider to be the top, and look what happens to them. Do they not, at some point, get placed in a boiling hot pot of metaphorical water and eaten up? We eat everybody that hits the top. Everybody. Except for that 1% that owns all of the wealth. Because they'll eat you first. So we have to figure out a better way. This is the way I've figured out that we can work together and start our revolution. Or at least get a little kickstart, jumpstart going to it. And get everybody some money so we can stop thinking about money all the time. Because everybody's always like, I need money, I need money. Well, if you have $15,000 a month residually just hitting your bank account, then what? Then what comes after money? Then what are you going to do? Are you going to read a book? Are you going to invent something? What are you going to do? Are you going to teach your kids? Maybe pull them out, homeschool them yourself? What are you going to do once money is not the issue and you realize that you have time and that you realize the commodity really is time? Then what are you going to do? So start thinking that way. And as you start thinking that way, I promise you, your ideas will change too, and you will probably end up right here with us on the MLM trail, because this is the only place where you can make that residual check and let your mind be free enough to think about what comes next. I love you all, kings and queens. I hope this was not too much talking. Looks like it's a 40-minute video. I'll see if I can chop it down, if I can learn how to edit real quick. But that pretty much covers the premise of what I wanted to start with you on this movement and why I really thought it was important to reach out today. Okay, tune in. It's my first video. I broke the seal. If I can get it uploaded, honey, you will see more of me. I'm Cheverly, also known as Ever, representing for Team Rapping Goddess. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to say something, I prefer if it's in the spirit of truth and honesty and purpose. So I have thick enough skin where I can take whatever it is you want to say to me, but I prefer that you actually have a purpose for it and that it's mature and it's grounded and based in something that makes some sort of logical sense that you can explain. So no hazing, okay? No just meanness for meanness sake. But if you have something that's disagreeable, or you have a challenge or some sort of opposition, I'm fine with you voicing that. It's a free world, and that's what's so awesome about this. So go for it. Leave some comments. I guess subscribe to the channel and let me know what you thought of my first video. And if you have suggestions, definitely let me know those too, because I need some critiquing. Was the red lipstick too much? Did I talk too fast? Am I not looking in the camera exactly how I'm supposed to? Background noise, they killing trees. So don't get mad at me. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not killing trees. They are. Love y'all.